From one end of the Great Hall, Invictus saw Lord Kafal approaching, flanked by his librarians and their priestly attendants bedecked in their cerulean robes. Servitors carried the chapter's ancient tomes, and liturgies droned from the automated vox units that hovered alongside the procession. But there was more. Huge caskets pulled along by the grasping mechadendrites of the chapter's tech marines. What was in these caskets, Invictus had no idea, but something about their unexpected appearance began to fill him with a sense of unease. As the huge room filled with the scent of burning incense, a macabre silence seemed to descend upon the proceedings. It was an unnerving quiet, and Invictus's unease began to intensify into a stolid feeling of dread. This was not the exultant ritual he had been anticipating. It was more like a funeral march. As the feeling intensified, Kafal approached him, his stone face grim in the hazy darkness.
"You have proven yourself the best among us, Invictus. You have proven you are without peer for your strength and cunning. You are the most potent, the latest to prove himself worthy to join the Doomed Ones."
The librarians had surrounded him now, a monotonous chant emanating from within their hooded robes. The ancient, dark language that was spewed forth by the vox units grew louder with every passing second, and Invictus could feel something metallic on the air, as though a storm were brewing within the confines of the hall. The tech marines had positioned the caskets, 10 in all, in a circle around Invictus. They ceremoniously released the holy seals that bound their locks and revealed what was inside. 10 blank faces stared out at Invictus. 10 silent warriors, their bodies still robust, but their minds vacuous. His unease suddenly turned to cold panic. He told himself that it was all part of the ritual, that there was nothing to fear, but his base instincts were crying out to him to flee this place. With the containment field binding him in place, though, flight was impossible.
"You are the 11th hero, Invictus, the 11th and final warrior. Look to your battle brothers."
He gestured to the blank faces that glared with vacant expressions.
"Your predecessors, each one succeeding in the challenge of the labyrinth for the honor of joining the ranks of the Doomed Ones. For 1,000 years we have searched for champions worthy of him. And tonight, finally, you are all assembled. Our crusade can now begin. Now we will be strong enough to take back that which was stolen from us, Scalus, our homeworld. None will stand in our way. Not the forces of the foul, ruinous powers, nor the servants of the Carrion Lord. Not with him by our side."
Terror gripped Invictus as he looked down at the circle beneath his feet. Eldritch light was beginning to emanate from the carved runes, dancing and gamboling, flashing green and blue and red.
"Now you will learn what it is to be among the Doomed Ones,"
continued Lord Kafal, taking a step backwards.
"Now Malice will show you what your victory has wrought."
Invictus tried to speak, to demand to know what was happening to him, but he found his jaw would not move. The words simply would not come. The whisper of the librarians rose, as did the vox units, and they soon reached a crescendo. The light at Invictus's feet grew brighter, lashing upwards to sting his legs and bathe him in its iniquitous light.
"You are truly worthy, Invictus of the Suns!"
Kafal screamed, raising his arms to the shadows of the rooftop.
"Can you hear him calling? He has come to accept your tribute. He has come for the Labyrinth's 11th. He has come to walk among us!"
Invictus followed Kafal's gaze, lifting his head to the ceiling. Through the shadows he could see the outline of something huge, something that stared down with baleful eyes, something wicked in the dark. He screamed for the pain that engulfed his body, screamed for the terror in the depths of his soul. But no amount of screaming could halt the ritual now. It began to descend, pulling with it the dark and the pain. Invictus raised his voice in a last, tumultuous cry as his flesh began to flay from his bones. As his body was consumed, he realized that not even the kindly release of oblivion could save him now. The Sons of Malice are a renegade warband of Chaos Space Marines. Pledged to the service of the renegade god, Malice, as its champion and forces of its will. The name of this chapter during their service to the Imperium has been long forgotten by the scholars of galactic conquest. Waging war against demons and heretics for untold centuries within the western marches of the Eye of Terror, their ruthless purge of heresy wrought a heavy toll on the forces of chaos, earning the notice of a peculiar entity which likewise harried the ruinous pantheon. Hailing from the world of Skelos as part of the 20 chapters of the Astartes Praesus, their charge to protect the Cadian Gate proved insufficient in saving from the allure of chaos. Returning from the Celax 225 campaign, wherein the chapter quelled attempts to depressurize 3 sub-oceanic hive cities fallen to rebellion, First Captain Kafal marked the victory of his men by a ceremony committed every 11 years honoring the culture of Skelos. Recruiting aspirants from the cannibalistic tribes of their feral homeworld, which bled into their own traditions and rituals, Inquisitor Solomon Pietas of the Ordo Hereticus of the Emperor's Holy Inquisition would deem Skelos perdita. Convinced of the chapter's submission to chaos, Pietas deployed 5 regiments of the Astra Militarum and Order of Our Martyred Lady of the Adeptus Sororitas to eliminate the populace. Striking at the height of their celebrations, volleys of Melter Fire, Promethium, and Lasfire attempted to cut down the unawares Astartes. Yet such was the fury of these Space Marines that Captain Kafal and his company fought with feral barbarity to survive the ordeal. Feasting upon their attackers as impromptu sacrifices to their ritual, though the Battle Sisters fought valiantly, their meager numbers could not match the fury of the Space Marines. Inquisitor Pietas sacrificed upon their fell altar in praise of their strange ideals as Kafal feasted upon his remains. Offered the chance to perform a 50-year penitent crusade by the High Lords of Terror to absolve themselves of sin, the chapter refused, motivated by their twisted sense of dignity. Their rejection of penance rewarded with the arrival of an extermination fleet within the Skelos system. The chapter fled into the Eye of Terror aboard their battle barge, the Labyrinth. The Cadian 331st Regiment, scouring Skelos of all vestiges of their barbaric practices. The Senatorum Imperialis declared the chapter excommunicate traitoris as they toiled for a millennia within the Sea of Souls. Anarch Kafal, now enshrined as the chapter master of the Warband, now known as the Sons of Malice, their adherence to their rituals every century within the now Space Hulk, known as the Challenges of the Labyrinth, drew them closer to the entity which they had unknowingly worshipped for centuries. Such trials said to pledge a single Astartes champion to the service of Malice's sacred warriors, known as among the Doomed Ones. Each shall receive unimaginable power from their patron as they roam the dark paths of the void. Their 11th champion, Brother Invictus, successful in fulfilling the millennia-long cultivation of the challenges of the Labyrinth. His captured predecessors present during the ritual to summon Malice into the material realm, setting them on the path to reclaim their conquered homeworld. Sighted during the Skelos incident of 998.M41 within a pillaged Fire Raptors gunship decorated with the heraldry of their warband, only a fragment of their men would aid Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade, unleashing their anger upon the Imperium to which they once defended. Maintaining battle lines resembling those ordained by the Codex Astartes, the Warband's Librarian Carder and Techmarine Corps maintains a semblance of order within their ranks as their battle lines fight in silence. Clad in quartered black and white ceramite trimmed with silver, the symbol of their warband, a bisected black and white skull atop a 6-pointed star of chaos, belies their efforts made to combat their rival chaos worshippers. Rejecting the master of mankind, claiming him to be nothing more than a Lord Carrion of the Imperium, these subjects of the renegade god fight only to bring ruin to the galaxy, to sate their deep-rooted need for retribution.